Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at why taking photos of the Eiffel Tower at night is illegal. In the world, there are some amazing facts and questions we always ask, but we simply don't know the answer to many of these amazing and interesting questions. Today we're going to answer why South Korea goes silent for one day every year, what the falling code in the Matrix movie actually means, along with a bunch more very interesting questions about the world. But first, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too? The first question we need to get to the bottom of is why it's illegal to take a photo of the Eiffel Tower at night. We all know the Eiffel Tower located in Paris, France. It was built back in 1887, and it attracts around 7 million visitors every single year. Naturally, many of these visitors take photos of the Eiffel Tower. But if you plan on going to the Eiffel Tower and taking a photo at night, this is technically illegal. But why exactly is this? Well, it's all about copyright law in France. Copyright law says if you make something, you own the rights to it for as long as you live and then sometime afterwards. This means the actual copyright of the Eiffel Tower expired in 1993. This means its design and likeness is in the public domain. So in the daytime, you're allowed to take as many pictures as you want of the Eiffel Tower and sell them. But at night, this is not the case. That's because the Eiffel Tower's nighttime light show was added in 1985. And this means it hasn't been 100 years since the creator of this passed on. 100 years after the creator of something passes on, whatever they made falls into public domain. But because it was only made in 1985, this means it's still protected under France's copyright law. That means it's illegal to sell or share images of the Eiffel Tower at night. But if you're suddenly worried thinking I shared a photo of the Eiffel Tower at night on Facebook, then don't be. That's because the Eiffel Tower's copyright has never been enforced in court. Enforcing this law against millions of tourists is very impractical. Also, it's likely not going to hurt the Eiffel Tower if someone posts a photo of it at night on Facebook or elsewhere online. However, if you want to sell a photo of the Eiffel Tower at night, you probably should ask for permission. Luckily for me though, animated images of the Eiffel Tower at night are just fine. Next up, we have why South Korea goes silent for one day a year. Imagine this, a silence falling all over one single country. Well, that's actually what happens one day every year in South Korea. This usually takes place sometime in late November. For example, last year it took place on the 26th of November. At 8:40 AM local time, everyone goes quiet for the benefit of students. That's because on that day, over 500,000 students will take an exam they've been preparing their entire lives for. This is called the Suneung. This is an 8-hour marathon of back-to-back exams which happen in South Korea. This will decide where these students go to university and also affects their jobs and income they'll have in the future. In South Korea, students work very hard, preparing for 12 years before taking this exam. Now, you can actually take the exam more than once. Some students even take the exam up to 5 times to get the best possible grades. But on that day in November every year, the country comes to a standstill and everywhere is silent. Many shops and banks close, and even market stalls open late. Construction works also halt, and many planes and military training exercises are grounded. Even police sirens actually turn their volumes down, believe it or not. Because of how important this day is in South Korea, the day is very solemn. Literally no one makes noise, as they want to make sure that no one's distracted in their exams. And there's also very extensive security checks before the kids go in to take their exams. They actually have to go through a metal detector before going into school. This is to make sure all confiscated items are taken away from them. This includes things like phones, watches, bags, and books. But most recently, people have tried to sneak in spy glasses and even earpieces. So that's why they've brought in metal detectors to weed out these cheating efforts. But it's pretty crazy how the entire country of South Korea comes to a standstill and everyone goes silent for an entire day. But to be fair, after 12 years of preparation, I think these kids need all the help they can get. I honestly cannot imagine doing 8-hour back-to-back exams. Coming up next is, what does the falling code in the Matrix actually mean? I'm pretty sure by now we've all seen the falling code in the movie The Matrix. The raining code has since been one of the most famous parts of the movie, and you may think it's simply binary code that doesn't mean anything. But in 2017, the movie's production designer actually revealed how he made this iconic visual. Strangely enough, the dubbed Green Rain was actually inspired by his wife's Japanese cookbooks. That's right, the Matrix's code is actually a Japanese sushi recipe. What he did was scan his wife's cookbooks and then digitally manipulated them into raining streams of code. So if you're wondering what kind of code Neo was summoning the Matrix around, it was a Japanese sushi recipe. This is a pretty hilarious fact which nobody knew until 2017. The next question on our list is, why do Chinese lottery winners wear costumes? If you looked at the news in China, you'd probably wonder why every lottery winner seems to be really into dressing up as an animal. Well, it's not some kind of big coincidence that people who like dressing up as animals win the lottery often in China. Instead, it's actually a very funny Chinese tradition that goes back decades. Much like in some US states, in China, lottery winners are required to come forward and reveal their identities to the public. This is to make the lottery more transparent and assure regular individuals to have a chance of winning the game. Now, I've already done an entire video about why winning the lottery can be the worst thing to happen to you. And a lot of this is because you get people looking for handouts and criminals trying to take advantage of you. That's why many lottery winners in China are kind of annoyed when they have to reveal their identities. Revealing their identities consists of taking a publicity photo for the news. But one day, a Chinese lotto winner came up with a very clever way of remaining private while still obeying the lottery's rules. That is, accepting the lottery check and posing for the photos wearing a costume. One lottery winner from Guangxi decided to dress up in a monkey costume. He won $40 million, which at the time was the 5th largest lottery prize ever in China. He followed the lottery's rules, getting his photo taken, but he remained anonymous by wearing the costume. Since then, other Chinese lottery winners have dressed up as mice, horses, and even Mickey Mouse. And even the luckiest lottery winner in all of China, who won the top prize ever, dressed up as a panda. The very lucky panda won the equivalent of $88.5 million. So while these costumes may seem silly, they're actually being very smart about their winnings. They're staying fully anonymous to make sure their friends, family, and criminals don't try and take advantage of them. And if you still think this is a dumb idea, then check out my video of why winning the lottery is the worst thing that can happen to you. And now it's time for the final fact on this list: how an unknown Brazilian company made iPhones. If I asked you who made iPhone, then you'd probably say Apple. But that's actually not the case. The Apple iPhone was first released in June of 2007. But all the way back in the year 2000, an unknown electronics firm in Brazil actually trademarked the word iPhone. They began selling the iPhone that has gone through various different models. The Brazilian electronics firm based in Sao Paulo is called Gradente. And the funniest part is, their iPhone actually runs off of Android. When Apple tried to file the trademark for iPhone in 2007, they were surprised when it was denied. And that's all because this Brazilian electronics company made the term iPhone back in 2000 and trademarked it then. So those were some amazing facts and questions answered that I hope you found very interesting. If you guys want some more fun question type videos like this, then let me know down below in the comments. And be sure to check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most amazing question on this list. If you guys want some more amazing videos, check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that coming up on screen in a moment. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.